Magandang araw po sa ating mga kaperlas, sa ating mga kababayan at sa ating mga mahal na OFW. At ating pong nasaksihan noong 28 ng Marso, niyanig yung buong mundo ng mga Pilipino sa iba't ibang lugar ng daigdig. At nakikita natin kung gaano nagkakaisa at first time history nitong nangyari na may isang taong birthday na hindi kasama at ang tao ay sobrang saya at nagkakaisa para sa kanyang birthday. At talagang nakakaiba po talaga si Tatay Digong kasi first time yan na nangyayari. At makikita din natin na yung gathering ay isang nagpapatunay lang na nagpapakita ng pagpapasalamat natin sa pinapakita ni Tatay Digong sa ating bansa, sa ating mamamayang Pilipino. Dahil sa kabutihan niyang ginawa, kaya makikita natin na ang mga tao na mismo, hindi mo na kailangang bayaran, utusan, sila na mismo ang gumagawa ng paraan na para magpakita ng pagpapasalamat at pagsuporta. So dahil sa ginawa nila kay Tatay Digong, mas lalong sumikat ngayon si Tatay Digong. Pero ngayon mga kaibigan, meron tayong panoorin itong video ni Orion Perez kasi nakakaiba rin tong taong to, magaling. Nagustuhan ko din yung yung YouTube channel niya. At dito tinira niya itong si Richard Hidarian, yung si Sub-Saharan boy. So ngayon, pakinggan natin kung gaano niya ito tinira itong kurukunghong ito. Pakinggan na natin.
Again, the Dutertes were the cause of the trouble. All right, folks, for those who don't know yet, the Iranian-Filipino political pundit Richard Javad Foronda Haidarian has struck again.
Iranian pala to, no? Half Iranian tsaka Pilipino. Kaya pala iba yung mukha eh. Maraming balbas yung mukha. Sige, pakinggan natin.
What was that about? He just said, I come from the north of the country where our Human Development Index is almost Southern Europe. Wait a minute. Sounds wrong. Northern Philippines. Like he means Luzon, right? Because the Human Development Index of Southern Europe is around 0.888, which is considered very high, while the average HDI of Luzon is at 0.738, which is considered high. On the other hand, Hidarian says, but if you go to Mindanao, their Human Development Index is sub-Saharan African level. Wrong again, because the HDI of sub-Saharan Africa is at 0.549, which is considered low, while the HDI of Mindanao is at 0.681, which is medium.
So, nakahanap siya ng katapat, Talagang makikita natin dito, palpal sa dito ni Sir Orion. Okay.
He's over-exaggerating what he's saying when in reality, Richard Hidarian is forgetting that it is in Metro Manila and a few nearby areas like Cavite where you find the phenomenon of people eating pagpag.
Pinipili po ni nanay ay yung mga pagkain na tira-tira.
What's pagpag? This consists of leftover meat that had already been thrown into the garbage.
In my experience sa amin sa Mindanao, sa Misamis Occidental, sa Sub-Saharan ng Mindanao, hindi pa kami nakakain ng ganyan. Talagang kung wala man kaming makain, nagluluto lang kami ng saging, kamote, or minsan pag meron kasi kaming kamote or mga ganon, ipag-exchange namin yan sa mga, meron din kasing taong nagbibinta ng isda, minsan nag-exchange kami ng bigas, mga ganon. Hindi kami nakakain ng pagpag, wala yan sa amin. Hindi yan uso sa amin.
Scavenged by really poor people, washed a few times, then recooked, all because of extreme poverty.
Mapipilitan mong trabaho ay para mayroon akong ibabigay.
This is happening in Luzon in the northern Philippines, whereas the pagpag phenomenon is virtually non-existent in Mindanao, as the poor people of that island are able to eat fresh fish
ang ibig sabihin nun, hindi naman 'to na minamaliit natin sila, 'no? Pero yung ano ba na ang explanation kasi nito ni Sub-Saharan Boy na sobrang hirap yung Mindanao. So we're just trying to explain dito na hindi naman ho tayo ganun talaga na yung naghihirap na walang makain. Pero yung sa Mindanao lang siguro in terms of kahit hindi na pero nung mga previous year siguro minsan yung mga oso dahil hindi pa lalong-lalo nang wala pang gadgets, wala pang masyadong yung sa di katulad ngayon yung modern na ngayon na makikita mo kung ano na yung mga uso kasi nung time na yun is mainstream lang, radio, TV, yan lang yun eh. Hindi natin alam kung ano yung mga uso dun sa Europe, sa Northern, okay? So ganoon. Pero in terms sa pagkain, hindi po namin naranasan yung pagpag kasi nga nung time mga 90s wala pang masyadong Jollibee, McDonald's din doon. Pero in terms sa pagkain, ang Mindanao hindi kami nahirapan sa pagkain. Yun yung totoo.
Fresh produce from the vegetables grown in their backyards, and meat from poultry and livestock they raise themselves. Eating food from garbage is not a thing in Mindanao.
That's
but
true.
then again,
That's true.
in fairness to Haydarian, there really is an imbalance in the development of the northern Philippines, or Luzon, versus Mindanao. And this is clearly the result of the Philippines being way too centralized around Metro Manila. Nearby regions within the same island of Luzon benefit from the economic spillovers of this development. The rest of the regions outside of Luzon, especially the ones in Mindanao, seem forgotten and neglected. Isn't that why we should actually be talking about the need for federalism? That's one of the things where Haydarian and I have disagreements.
Kaya ito yung inano ni Tatay Digong, kung maaari sana magkaroon tayo ng federalism or kahit si Robin Padilla, Senator Robin. Kasi ang nangyayari kasi yung especially pag ano ng mga budget or something like that, nahuhuli palagi ditong sa South, itong sa Mindanao. Kasi minsan yung mga planning andun lahat, lalong-lalo na pag yung presidente ay taga doon sa North, ay ang mangyayari katulad ngayon. So ang nangyayari talagang palaging nahuhuli ang sa Mindanao. At yun nga, we were so happy na nagkaroon ng presidente na from galing na Mindanao, si Tatay Digong. Yun lang na experience na yung nagkaroon din ng malaking improvement sa Mindanao dahil kay Tatay Digong. Kasi siya yung talaga nakikita natin yung pamamaraan niya eh. Yung paano niya dinala yung buong bansa. Pero yun nga, yun yung ano doon eh, kung maaari sana kung nagkaroon tayo ng itong ganitong sa pamamaraan ng ating gobyerno na mayroon tayong federalism, mas maganda sana yun. At least ang ano kasi dito, separate yung ano natin, may sarili tayo dito sa Mindanao, Luzon, meron kayo, at saka sa Visayas, separate tayo, may iba-iba yung nagmamanage natin. Mas maganda sana yun, di ba? At least tayong taga Mindanao, makapagplano din kami at pero hindi kasi yung ganun kadali eh. Kasi we talk about isang bansa kung paano pag-change ng pamamaraan sa gobyerno, talagang hindi madali yon. But yun nga, yun yung punto dito na nakikita natin yung problema sa ating bansa. Kasi yung bansa natin hindi kasi katulad sa Europe eh. Europa, di ba? Sa Europe or sa America, or, di ba, buo yung ano nila eh. Buo yung lupa. Sa Mindanao, sa Philippines, yung bansa natin is isla, ibang isla. Kaya ganito yung nangyayari. At marami, kahit isang Pilipino tayo, pero meron tayong sariling kultura eh. Yung iba't ibang tradisyon, iba-ibang ways. Kaya minsan, magkakaroon tayo ng yung cultural problem. Yeah. Yun yung ano dun minsan sa atin eh. Na iba yung mga Bisaya, iba yung mga... Pero Pilipino pa rin tayo. Pero minsan, nakakaroon talaga ng ganun. Minsan, nakikita yan dito sa nasa labas ng bansa. Ganun, makikita mo minsan yung ganun. Pero nagkakaisa pa kasi Pinoy naman tayo eh.
Because he is generally opposed to federalism or any moves to get the Constitution amended. Anyway, because of what he recently said, lots and lots of Filipinos are up in arms. That includes the City Council of the city of Isabela in the province of Basilan, which declared Richard Javad Heydarian to be a persona non grata. It also turns out that his own former professor at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, my own personal friend, mentor, and collaborator in the pursuit of constitutional reforms, Professor Clarita Carlos, posted on her Facebook account the sheer audacity of one who labels Mindanao as sub-Saharan. Naman! Immediately, Heydarian retaliated with malicious attacks saying, "For real? Anong nangyari sa ano na to? Irrelevant na nga, nag-fake news amplifier pa. Pathetic!" Many will remember that Professor Claire Carlos is a very respected academic and professor, and she has often been invited to be a resource person at the Senate and the House of Representatives, like me, and she has also served briefly as National Security Advisor. To be honest, Richard Javad Heydarian isn't used to admitting his mistakes and apologizing.
Yun yung problema minsan nitong mga politician analyst ba. Kasi minsan hindi nila alam eh. Minsan ano sila into conclusion kaagad. Normally, if you're analyst, politician, yun yung ano mo. Dapat you're always in the middle. Dapat nasa gitna ka, wala kang ano dyan, wala kang papanigan. Pero ito sila, may isa pa dyan eh. Mga 5 yata to sila. Sobrang mga bias yung mga mindset nila. They're not helping Philippines. They're helping na madadown yung Pilipinas. Kasi wala. Instead na meron sana silang magandang pwedeng idea na ibigay, kung ano yung pwedeng ikakabuti ng Pilipinas. Kung pakinggan mo sila, talagang wala. Kaya tama talaga tong ginawa ni Sir Orion. Talagang supalpal sa dito.
For them, even when he spews out inaccurate or wrong information, like when he said before,
Isko Moreno has been in executive positions since late 1970s.
But wait! Isko Moreno was born in October of the year 1974. So when Heydarian says that Isko Moreno served as mayor of Manila in the late 1970s, how's that possible? Is he saying that Isko Moreno was mayor of Manila in 1979 when he was only around 5 years old? We've had a lot of debates and arguments with Richard Heydarian in the past regarding the need to amend or revise the 1987 Constitution.
Maganda sana to no kung meron talaga silang ang ano kasi dito wala kasi siyang argue dito eh. Tsaka si Richard wala din. Mas maganda talaga pag meron ito silang face to face na debate, yun yung maganda.
I was able to show him that parliamentary systems are known to perform better than presidential systems, and I gave a lot of citations of political scientists and economists who produced a lot of research papers that have proven that parliamentary systems are indeed superior and much more efficient. He wasn't able to counter-argue, and he responded to me by saying, "Orion, I suggest read these basics first before bothering me with simplistic stuff. Hegel's phenomenology of spirit and the idea of world historical figures. Giddens' structuration theory, how agency structures interact. Lukács, Zizek on class consciousness, agency, and history. But wait, what exactly is the connection or the relevance of these philosophers and theorists he cited to the topic of comparing parliamentary systems versus presidential systems, or even the comparison of federalism versus unitarism? No relevance, right? But that's how he is. He'd insert red herrings and other irrelevant and totally unrelated topics, apparently just to confuse or befuddle his audiences, or to announce that I'm better than you because I've read these. Anyway.
Yan yung problema. Yan nga, kumukuha lang sila ng idea doon sa saan yung papanig sa kanila. Na parang feeling na parang makikita ng mga tao na sobrang galing, ang galing. Minsan kasi niya nagmamatter kung, of course, kung meron kang natapos, ano talaga yun. Maganda talaga yun, ano yung pinag-aralan mo, minaster mo, nag-doctorate ka dyan, okay yun. Pero minsan kasi ang problema is paano yung paggamit ng knowledge mo eh. Yun yung kaibahan sa knowledge tsaka wisdom. Kasi pag minsan sobrang taas yung daming knowledge, pero yung papaano ang paggamit ng knowledge mo, yun yung wisdom eh. Paano mo gamitin ng maayos yung knowledge mo. Yun yung nangyari nitong mga taong ito. May mga knowledge pero yun nga ginagawang doon sa hindi tama. Yun nga yung sapul sa dito eh.
Anyway, in the correct movement, we have a lot of advocates who have tried having discussions with him, and one such advocate said to him on the old Twitter platform, now known as X, "Sir, I believe Dr. Francis Fukuyama himself is one of those famous PhDs who says that the parliamentary system is superior to the presidential system and that the USA should just shift over to the parliamentary system." Heydarian immediately responded with, "False! He never said that. I read all his classics. Please, let's not invent stuff to force an outdated issue. Feel free to check the iPhone 12s I suggested. Good day." But that same member responded and included a clip of a video of Dr. Fukuyama. "Thanks for the suggestion, sir. But here's a video of Dr. Fukuyama saying that America should have gone with the parliamentary system in the first place."
I think I would actually shift from a presidential to a parliamentary system because I just think they work better.
There you go, folks. What do you think? Are we still going to allow ourselves to be fooled and hoodwinked by a self-proclaimed expert who has repeatedly spewed out inaccurate or downright wrong information? Isn't it possible that this is one of the key problems of the Philippines, which is why we're not able to fix the flaws of our country, because there are people...
Yeah, yun yung problema dito sa Philippines. Kasi ang daming matalino talaga sa Pilipinas, ang dami. Pero yun nga lang, ang problema lang is yung paano ginamit yung galing nila, paano ginamit nila yung pinag-aralan nila. Yun nga, minsan kasi pag dito lang, walang puso. Yeah, it's good kung paano yun yung kaibahan ni Tatay Digong. Kasi hindi lang siya magaling dito sa logic, pati dito sa emotion magaling siya. Kaya kuhang-kuha niya yung mga tao. Kuhang-kuha niya yung taong bayan. At talagang totoong-totoo siya sa bayan niya. Wala siyang pinapanigan. Yung pinapanigan niya is kung ano yung ikakabuti ng karamihan. Kung ano ang ikakabuti ng ating bansa. Kaya mga kapatid, kaibigan, kaperlas, kababayan, mga OFW, kailangan talaga nating i-validate, i-check natin kung ano yung nakikita natin sa social media ngayon or kahit saan, mga videos, mga information. Kasi minsan itong yun yung nangyari nung before, talagang yung mainstream lang. Ang nangyari is kung walang re-respond, yun, talagang maniniwala yung mga tao. Pero pasalamat tayo ngayon dahil nga dito sa social media natin, marami ng platform na saan tayo makakuha ng information, matimbang natin, ma-validate natin kung sino talaga yung totoo at tama, at makikita naman talaga natin kung sino yung mga matitinong tao, matitinong leader, matitinong yung pwede nating talagang mapakinggan, no? So yun nga, hopefully matapos na to. Ang pinaka-importante dito sa pangyayari ngayon is that anumang mangyari kay Tatay Digong, at least napatunayan na sa buong mundo na ang ginawa nila ni Tatay Digong ay hindi tama, no? So taong bayan na mismo ang nagpapatunay niyan. At kahit ano pa man yung nangyari doon, basta ang importante sa ngayon is that alam na ng taong bayan kung sino ang loko-loko, sino yung mga taong mga walang hiya, at sino yung mga taong matitino, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga leaders. So, vote wisely tayo ngayong darating na eleksyon at iboto natin yung sinabi ni Tatay Digong, kasi pag yan lang, that's our last card. pag hindi yan mangyayari, talagang kawawa ang ating bansa. So mga kababayan, kapatid, kaibigan, so let us be wise be smart sa pag vote natin this coming election. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat.